Welcome to another episode of Buddhaman's Musician's Corner. Today from Brooklyn, New York, we have Shane Harrington from the band OST. Their latest release is called Uncaused. We'll talk to Mr. Shane Harrington in just a minute. Hello again, Shane. How are you?
Hey there, not too bad, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm so glad. Well, what is OST? I was curious, probably you're asked that a lot. What does it stand for, OST?
It's like an acronym for original soundtrack, you know. So if you buy like a movie soundtrack normally, or if you see, you know, a piece of music that accompanies a movie, it usually has OST right afterwards, and that just stands for original soundtrack. So I really like that term, and I just kind of borrowed it for my project pretty much.
Pretty cool. And it says here, this isn't comparable to anything you've heard before. And I can agree to that. I listened to Heaven Hack, and I listened to Death After Death. What is death? What to you is Death After Death? You wrote that. Right?
Yeah, that title, I guess, is like a part two to a title from the first album, which was Death Before Death, which I guess at the time I attributed Death Before Death to like, not to get too grim, but experiencing really bad depression before, you know, early on in your life. And I guess Death After Death was leaving the depression.
Yeah,
so,
you know, I know what you mean, because my dad, last year, all of a sudden, you know, he got Alzheimer's. So that was kind of a death for me, you know, into a new consciousness.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, man. That's so tough.
Oh, well, you know, everybody goes.
Yeah.
One way or another. He's still around, and he's funny, and he tells jokes, and he's very well taken care of. But when you first find out about anything like that, a friend, a relative or something, it's kind of, that's a death. I believe that's an inner death for you or me individually. That's what I got out of it, you know, where you die one in this life to grow to be another thing. And then, you know, then you get to the physical death, and who knows what happens after.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's almost, I mean, reconciling some of those things, and you know, there's the event that really shakes you, and then if you have a little bit of time to kind of look back and work it into your life, it's almost like a preparation or something. I mean, people generally tend to come out of those things stronger, you know. I mean, people surrounding those situations, I guess.
Well, yeah, you know, that's what happened. I see that happening. You know, has it happened to you, or you had something like that shake you to the bones?
Oh yeah.
And you felt it, man, like you like it was in your whole body, you know, like.
Yeah.
It's
sorry. It really snaps you out of
your illusionary world.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, you're like worrying about your bills. You're like worrying about that itch on the back of your leg, and then suddenly you're confronted with realness. You know? Yeah, realness. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's so great about music. You know, one of the things that I do, I take a few of these bands like that I like, and I play them for my dad. And you know, music is no matter how bad your brain is gone, even if you're in a coma, I believe they still hear it. Yeah. And it goes through them, and they can feel it. Also, he loved Frank Sinatra, and he played the sax, so the music actually penetrates whatever is going on in his brain. Yeah. There's an amazing little documentary I saw recently, which was about a nursing home where they would play music for Alzheimer's patients who hadn't moved very much or just shown any cognizance in a long time. And when they heard the songs from their youth, they suddenly became really animated and totally. It was like almost it was like a minute, like a very short reversal of the Alzheimer's. I'll try and send it to you after this interview, but it's an amazing little video. It just shows the power of music, I guess. It's the power of music. It's that what you feel, you know, like when I hear, you know, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. When I hear songs, they take me back to a time.
Music does that for you, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it does that and even more. It takes me to places I haven't been before, I guess, as well.
Yeah. So, do you have other members of the band that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, well, I guess the thing is with this project, I play in so many bands in New York and back. I'm from Ireland originally, so I was like touring for the early part of my 20s and I guess a bit of my teens around Europe and the UK and stuff. But this project is something that I put together myself essentially. And the band that's just coming together around it now is, I'm still trying out musicians basically. It reminds, I take a lot of inspiration from Jeff Buckley and how he got the whole Grace thing together. He started off as like a singer-songwriter, and then he acquired all these friends just naturally that really, they worked very well with the music. They kind of turned singer-songwriter music into a full band music. Yeah. And I guess that's kind of what I'm in the midst of doing right now around the third album.
Well, I'm on your website. You're quite a talented man. Jesus Christ, look at all this. Fuck the mind fuck. I love that. Reminds me of what's going on in my mind sometimes, some of these pictures. And then you're a sculptor as well. I'm looking at this. Oh, man, my wife does stuff like this. She'll take pieces of things and make things out of it. And
cool, yeah.
Some, recycle. So what does that mean? A chainsaw on top of a foot? I think I got the meaning.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, actually. It could go two ways. I went to, I did the whole art college thing, and there is no real separation between the visual arts and the music. It's all the same. Music comes from the word muse. It's all expression. But that particular piece you're looking at, the shit kicker vision, I think was at a time where I was pretty fed up, and it was the idea of wearing this piece of armor, which is like a helmet with 3 chainsaw blades on it for cutting through bullshit in conversations. A very literal metaphor, I guess.
It is a literal metaphor.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your photography too. I'm an amateur photographer myself. Very unique. Ladies and gentlemen, go to this website and check it out. It's shaneharrington.org. The org is always like, hey, that must be educational. So it is.
They took my .com, goddammit. It's a guy who runs strip clubs who has the .com.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. So who are some of the bands that have shook you to the bone over the years and influenced you emotionally and what you write?
Oh yeah, oh man, there's so many. Like as I said, Jeff Buckley is a big one for me. Some of it's weird with Radiohead. I got into them later in their career. I know everyone gets into them towards I guess OK Computer and stuff, but the last few albums really blew me away. The Mars Volta are another band, very experimental, awesome band back in the day. They really woke me up a little bit then at the drive-in. And I guess it depends on who you're talking to, but on a less cooler note, I don't really give a shit, but I fucking love Pearl Jam too. They have such an awesome mix.
Oh, yeah. You're kidding? Have you heard Eddie Vedder's Ukulele album?
Yes.
I have that. I listen to that all the time. I think he is just a very gifted individual,
Yeah.
So,
super sincere.
You do all these things and you find the time to do it. That's pretty cool. And with the music, is there anything coming up that you're going to be creating musically, or is this pretty recent what you just did?
Yeah, well, the album Uncaused is just about to come out on the 19th of September, and that's my third album under the OST title. So yeah, that's coming out on the 19th of September with some music videos to follow and some live shows at least in New York, and hopefully a tour afterwards. A lot of it's playing it by ear nowadays because it's just working so many different projects you wanna see, which is the best way to follow. I'm super excited about OST. It's my favorite thing. It's like where I spend like hours working on that stuff. But so I guess there's that, and I'm ready to like work on another 3 albums already. It just keeps coming. So
really, holy shit. Wow! Tell the fans where they can gain access to your music.
Whoops, sorry about that. I'm in a little bit of a noisy hallway in New York here.
Having a party in the subway?
I wish it was that exciting. Yeah, no, I'm in my hallway right outside my apartment where the internet connection is best.
I can see it in my mind. So where do they go to your website? Tell them about your website.
Yeah, so my main website is shaneharrington.org, and that's got links to pretty much everything. But there's also the Facebook, which is facebook.com/original soundtrack OST, and that has a pretty straight up link to everything else in there as well.
Thank you, Shane, for being on the program, and I really appreciate it. OST is the name of the band. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you very much, Alan. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
And thank you. And this is called End of Life Credits from OST.